Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So what exactly happened today? Seemed like things were okay until they weren't. And things started flipping into red negative territory. It's due to the Fed minutes. So what's the big deal? Let's talk about it, and let's talk about what else is going on in the world of crypto today. Welcome, guys. This morning, when I was streaming, Dow Jones was plus 200. Things were turning green. And then all of a sudden, boom, everything started sliding down, especially NASDAQ down over 1%. Dow flipped completely 180, down almost minus 200, right? And this is because of this guy right here. Well, at least not this guy, but you get what I'm saying. Fed Chair Powell said in his Fed minutes, said there's still upside risks. Okay. Inflation could still be elevated or trend back upwards, which, of course, would lead to more rate hikes. So basically, people interpreted this as a very negative thing, even though Powell, in his press conference, said pretty much the same thing. I think he was maybe a little bit more dovish in his press conference because he's like, well, you know, we have to study the economic conditions, study inflation and all the readings and everything, and then we'll compile it and determine whether or not we need another rate hike, right? That was a month ago. But now the minutes show more of a hawkish tone. Like the Feds are not, they're not quite sure, right? This is over. There may be more inflation risks, and that means there's more rate hikes. So, I mean, Wall Street basically took this as a bearish thing, a hawkish thing. More rate hike. Another one is something that no one wants. Honestly, no one wants another rate hike. The banks certainly do not want it. It's killing their business. Consumers certainly does not want it. Business do not want it because now it's harder for them to raise capital, harder for them to borrow money for operations and expansion and everything else, right? No one wants another rate hike, but now it seems like there may be another one, right? So this is what spooked the market today. Is it really spooky? Not really, because, between now and end of next month, maybe there will be more data that shows, well, there will be another inflation reading for sure. Maybe inflation trends back down, right? And some of the softness that we're seeing from economic data, right? That could convince Powell, like, enough is enough. Maybe another bank collapses. We know that, Finch Ratings? Is it Finch or Moody's? The one that grades banks basically warned that they're going to downgrade the banks, right? And maybe there's another bank collapse. So nothing's for certain. Nothing is set in stone, but it did crash the market today, reversal. So we'll see how it is tomorrow. Right now, pre-market's kind of even. Bitcoin, unfortunately, took a little bit of a dip, 28.6. So that kind of sucks. Entire crypto market cap went down about 2%, which isn't too bad, but there are some definite losers today, and I'll get to one in particular in a little bit, right? So that's what happened today. Now, because of all these rate hikes, because of everything that Fed has done, right? Look at this number. This just came out. It's staggering. A bank calculated how much money or how much wealth vanished, disappeared in 2022. Not even counting 2023. This is just last year. Close to $6 trillion. $6 trillion vanished. Okay. Again, that's not counting even this year. This is just last year. That's actually the largest vanish in wealth ever recorded in history. That's how much wealth was destroyed, right? So if you think about it, the Fed's mission in terms of price stability and lowering inflation, how he's doing that is making people poor. And I've said that before, right? He's making people poor and businesses poor in order to cut inflation. But the reality is inflation exists because of overprinting, okay? Not due to, I guess, elevated buying. It's more due to overprinting. And that's something that he can't control. The Fed cannot control that. He was asked point blank, can you do something about it? Can you urge Congress not to overspend so that we don't have to raise our debt ceiling all the time and be fiscally responsible? And he's like, no, that's not my jurisdiction. I'm staying away from that, right? So ultimately, he has an impossible task to lower inflation, right, while the government is printing more and giving out more, right? It's impossible. But what he's really doing is just making people poor. And that's really an unfortunate thing if you think about it. It really, that's what it comes down to. If you want to break it down into what a 6-year-old can understand, what he's doing is making people poor so they can't buy. And if they can't buy, then that lowers prices and leads to disinflation, right? That's the theory behind it, but it's a lot more complex than that. But anyways, moving on, we still have a lot to look forward to, right? Right now, we are looking for the very first spot Bitcoin ETF. Obviously, I've been talking about that a lot. But there is Ether futures ETF that's coming. The funny thing is, futures, okay, are controlled by CFTC. But somehow, futures-based ETF now is controlled by the SEC. Doesn't make really much sense, right? I think the thinking behind that is a ETF contract, there's an expectation of gains or something like that. But that doesn't make sense. With futures, there are expectations of gains too. So I don't even really know why this makes sense. So if you're trying to come out with, say, an Ether futures or Bitcoin futures, you go through the CFTC. But if you're using a futures-based ETF, you go through the SEC. Doesn't quite make sense, right? And that is the problem right now. One of the biggest problems that we have in the U.S. is who gets the say? Who has regulatory control, I guess, right? Or the right for one asset to another, a derivative to another, like who has it? There's a big battle going on between SEC and CFTC. Now, we know Gary, he wants it all. He wants it all. But recently, yesterday, we saw that, no, or was that today? Yesterday or today. But Coinbase gets the nod to launch crypto futures. I think that was this morning, right? That was actually a big FU from CFTC to the SEC, basically saying, hey, screw you. We don't need to ask you. We control futures. We control commodities, not the SEC, right? So unfortunately, there's a little back and forth right now in the United States, right? We have uncertainty. And unfortunately, that's no good, right? Especially when things are boring, stagnant, maybe a little bit fuddish. This battle is definitely not helping. So hopefully in the future, we get some clarity, right? But we're all looking for that Bitcoin spot ETF to come, right? Couldn't come sooner. But here's the thing. The reality is, even without it, even if we don't get any spot Bitcoin ETFs approved this year or next year or maybe in the next 5 years, right? Even if we don't get it, it's not like Bitcoin is dependent on it. It's a nice thing to have. It's like dumping gasoline on a campfire, right? But ultimately, what's going to drive Bitcoin higher is the decreasing supply and increasing demand. Exchange balances of Bitcoin continues to go down and down and down and down, okay? And demand keeps on increasing, especially with institutions coming in like the BlackRocks of the world, right? That's ultimately why Bitcoin continues to trend up basically every single cycle, and also why the halving event is so important because it cuts the available Bitcoins being produced, right? The ones that are set to be released in half. And that's significant. Every 4 years, you decrease the inflation rate of Bitcoin by half, which makes it so much harder to find, so much harder, to sell because everyone's just hoarding it, right? So ultimately, yes, we all love a Bitcoin spot ETF to come sooner than later, tomorrow, right? But the reality is we don't really need it. Bitcoin will continue forward because it's the hardest and most scarce asset that we have, one that's non-sovereign, one that's not controlled by anything, one that's, well, controlled by code. Not controlled by any central entity, I should say. And one that won't inflate whenever, just like fiat, right? So stay strong. Stay strong, my friends. Good things, good days, better days, parabolic days will be coming. You just have to be patient. Now, outside of Bitcoin, there's a lot of other things going on right now too, right? We got a lot of scaling solutions. We got a lot of chains, right? We have a lot of dApps that's still coming aboard, right? Still waiting for that one killer super dApp or a killer game. Doesn't exist yet, but we know a lot are being built and will be coming. Now, according to Solana's and Toli, he believes that it's all nonsense. He believes that Solana is the dominant chain, and basically all these other L2s that are being developed or are already here for Ethereum are garbage, and they're not going to work, and the best thing is to just utilize Solana. And Totally have said many things like this in the past, also pointing fingers at Cardano and at Ethereum, even at Bitcoin, right? And, over the years, he has been humbled by the fact that even though, yes, Solana is so fast, there's been many outages, way more outages than any other L1 or L2 out there, right? So there's still work to be done for Solana, right? But it is still a top 10 coin. They are still, in contention and very fast, very scalable. He has that right, but let's not forget how many outages there has been so far on Solana. So he has to be careful with his choice of words. But speaking of L1s, L2s, right, there's so much going on right now. Optimism, for example, very popular L2, has just hit an all-time high of 900,000 transactions, okay? That's all-time high, despite the fact that prices right now are pretty low, right? The market is kind of stagnant, a little fuddish, but still, Optimism is growing like crazy. Arbitrum, also another L2, just growing like crazy right now. Accumulated users and how much ETH is deposited continues to go up and up and up and up. So obviously, there's a lot of development happening right now. Polygon ZK EVM, again, look at the numbers. Look at the graph. It keeps on going upwards, right? Those are just the beginning. Today, we have a big launch. Shibarium. Shibarium finally launched today. It's also L2 for Ethereum, so it's a scaling solution. And this beta saw 21 million wallets being created on the very first day. And supposedly there are this many dApps waiting to come aboard Shibarium, right? So overall, seems like it was a pretty successful launch, right? But I think most people are disappointed with the fact that SHIB did not pump. In fact, it went the opposite direction. It went down 8% or something, right? So unfortunately, it's one of those buy the rumor, sell the news, right? It's down 9% today. But overall, keep in mind, still up 31% in the last 60 days. One of the better movers in the last 60 days, right? Still up 15% in the last 30 days. So it can't go up forever. But I do think a lot of people expected a little bit more. You got to give them time, right? Give them time and see what happens. I wonder, I didn't even check Bone. I wonder if Bone did anything. Actually, Bone just went down too. But again, not everything, not all successes are measured with an increase in price, okay? Sometimes the market makers, the whales, they just dump, okay? Does not make it unsuccessful. So keep that in mind. We'll see how this goes, but definitely the L2s overall are growing by leaps and bounds. And again, one day we're going to get that super app or super game where it will onboard 10, 20, 50 million users. That's when crypto really changes. that's when these chains really become valuable and when these tokens and coins truly stand out and possibly decouple away from Bitcoin at that point, right? But right now, still waiting for that to happen. These are just the building blocks, the foundation, the network protocols to support those super apps and games that are coming in the future. So keep that in mind. Last two things. I saw PayPal news. Ledger, still controversial. Through Ledger Live, they are doing a PayPal integration so you can buy Bitcoin, ETH, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin directly through Ledger Live, and it gets stored on your ledger. That's actually pretty darn good, right? That's pretty good. But I did notice this. Those of you guys in UK, you won't be able to buy Bitcoin until 2024 for some reason. I don't know why they're shutting it out. Maybe they're trying to prepare, upgrade infrastructure, trying to get more licenses or something because they just came out their stablecoin. I don't know, but they did stop that. So just to warn you guys. I don't think you should be buying Bitcoin through PayPal, honestly. I still don't trust PayPal. But, you know, you do what you want. All right. Lastly, today is Wednesday. Double checking. Yes, it is Wednesday. That means it's DCA day. Unfortunately, week over week, down 5%. That's not something we like to see, right? But I will continue to DCA every single week until this portfolio turns green to prove to you guys the power of DCA. And, you know, quite frankly, when you want to DCA on a pretty down day, a nasty day, right? That's how you gain the most benefit. You buy low and you sell high, right? So if you're looking at the last 24 hours, basically everything is in the red. I mean, right now, this morning, you know, people were saying, are you a maxi? No, because Bitcoin and ETH was so strong this morning and continues to be strong versus a lot of the altcoins out there, right? I mean, sometimes Bitcoin is just better, right? That's why I've been saying for people that are starting a portfolio, follow the 50-25-25 rule, 50% in Bitcoin. You want that stability. And it also provides growth too. But in terms of this portfolio, I just got done talking about a lot of the L2s. Also, Ethereum. I think I'm a little actually lightweight in Ethereum, but I do have a lot of the L2s I mentioned, like Arbitrum in here. I mentioned about Solana, actually pretty heavy in Solana. What's my SHIB? SHIB is actually quite down 8%, 9%. You know, to be quite frank, it's probably a good time to buy some SHIB because it's down so much. It could continue down more because of the sell the news factor. But you know what? I'm going to put a little more into SHIB. And then I'm going to put a little more into Arbitrum's down big today. I'm going to do Ethereum, Arbitrum, and SHIB. I'm going to do a three-way divide. That's what I'm going to do. $33 into each of these. I mean, Ethereum has actually shown how resilient it is. It's basically it basically tracks Bitcoin and does not go down nearly as much as the others now, right? So that actually is very, very good. But today, let's see, 0.0183, so that's $33. Let's add a little Arbitrum. Let's do 33. So 31.55. And then let's add some SHIB since it is down. Point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 1, 1. I can't even. It's 3622392. I think that's right. Did I add too much? No, it's right. Okay. So this week I added Arbitrum, SHIB, and Ethereum, right? Again, not every week you're going to see a gain, week to week down, right? But good, decent opportunity, and we will come back. We will come back. After all this Fed scare, we will come back. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. Man, a lot of scared people today. I could tell because the number of people tuned in right now is pretty high than versus a normal stream. Let's see here. Let's see if I missed anything. A lot of people, when I talked about Solana, Chris is saying Solana sucks though. Todd says Solana crashes. Hyper Jang says Solonzo. Kevin says ETH is old technology. Solana is newer. Newer is not always better. Okay, let's just be clear about that. Newer is not always better. Solana is like riding a clown car waiting to break down. Man, a lot of people are very negative about Solana. Is Solana still in beta? Honest question. Technically, I guess. I think they're all in beta. Eli says, so glad I bought 0 SHIB. Well, congratulations. Yeah, buying ahead of a major event is always risky, right? It could be buy the news, sell the rumor kind of thing. And in this case, it was. But you know what? Long term, I think Shibarium is going to help SHIB in a big way. So we'll see. People agreeing that PayPal sucks. They do. I still don't trust them. If you go buy crypto, buy it somewhere else. There's no reason to be using PayPal. You're risking account closure and seizure and a whole lot more. Let's see. You think, Mark is asking, you think Jewel DFK is good pickup right now? Out of the 3 tokens that exist that are publicly traded, I'd say Jewel is the best, right? Crystal and Jade is absolutely disastrous right now. Jewel is also disastrous, but it has a better chance of coming up because it's deflationary. And there's no more that will be coming out, right? So, I don't know. DFK, still, they introduce a lot of new things. I know, new Bazaar. They're going to introduce P2P battle, all these things, right? And I really wish that it could come up right now. But with the market the way it is, it's hard to attract new people. But I will say, I am working with DFK on their new swap. And I think it's going to be a game changer. So that could certainly change things. Okay, so just a little tidbit out there. Oh, I forgot. There's something else I got to do. Weren't there huge issues with Shibarium Launch? I didn't hear about it. Maybe. But I wanted to announce something, actually. Hold on. Let me pull it up here. Let me pull it up if I can. I know today isn't the greatest day to be... Oh, I should have got this ready. I didn't get it ready. Hold on. All right. I'm going to post this in the description, but I finally got some pricing. So, you know, I've been talking about Cypherpunk. You know, last 2 weeks ago, I was in Vegas, had an event, right? That was one that I hosted. Now this is not coming up for some reason. There we go. So Last few weeks ago, I had an event in Vegas, a network event. That was great. But I'm co-hosting, the next event will be next month, co-hosting with Flux, with Cypherpunk, right? So I've been telling you guys, this will be in Fort Lauderdale, September 27, 28. It'll be a smaller, more intimate conference, but it will be a conference. There'll be a lot of projects there. So in case, and I've been working with the team, like trying to get a special discount for you guys. Basically, it's massive. It's near zero, really. But if you guys are in the area, or you want to come and learn a thing or two, or you want to meet me, right? Love to see you guys there. So this will be end of September, September 27th, 28th, right? And if you use this link that I'm posting right now, you will get a massive discount code. There we go. So I just posted that and I pinned it. And I'm going to put it in the description too, in case you guys are watching after the fact. But yeah, I will say that I will be inviting a lot of great projects. Flux also have invited a lot of projects. So this will be a pretty educational conference, smaller, more intimate, not like the large, huge, gigantic like Bitcoin 2023 or you know, any of the other big conferences. This will be smaller, around 1,000 people. So yeah, it'll be good over 2 days, and there'll be a VIP event and all that. So if you guys want to show up, use my link. Let's see what else. Devin, Best Buy ledgers, are they valid? Friend bought. Yeah, they should be. They should be. I mean, there used to be a problem where people reseal it. They'll return something and reseal it. I mean, it's hard to get away with that now. Everything is like packaged up, and there's multiple seals and stuff like that. If you're really distrusting of it, then order straight from Ledger. But otherwise, I think it should be fine from Best Buy. Crypto Zombie, Gary can kick and scream all he wants, but the train has left the station. That is true. That is true. So you have to sign up. Yeah, basically, all you have to do is use that link, and it will get you directly to the sign up page, the ticket page, and the discount will be already applied, right? So then you just sign up. That's pretty much it. The discount is massive. Okay, so it's basically like free to go. But I know a lot of you guys, the timing of it, there's only a month. You know, you got to schedule it, and you got to get, you got to buy a flight, airplane ticket there, and you got to get a hotel, right? So I realize it's a bigger cost for some of you guys. But if you're in the area, you're close. A lot of you guys are in Miami. You may be in Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, or you're in neighboring, states. I think this would be a great event. Will Bitcoin go to 15K level before going back up? No. I'm just going to say no. What is your daily routine like? It's pretty busy. I get up, probably around 7-ish, right? Say hi to my kids, grab a coffee, start preparing for the stream, do the stream, and then afterwards, usually I either have a team meeting or I start talking to projects or other people that I need to talk to, and usually lasts around until like 12. Then maybe I go work out or do whatever in the afternoon. And then, sometimes I got to go out and record my car videos, and various other things, and then got to do it again at night. That's basically it every single day. That's why every day seems like it's the same. Can the next challenge be on YouTube Shorts? No. Sorry, no. Grady, pumped for that event. Hopefully I'll see you there, Grady. Cypherpunk is a good day to fall in sick at work. Not suggesting you do that, but it's an option. When did I last drive my Ferrari? A few weeks ago. Drove it around the block. That's pretty much it. Is the house finished? No, it is not. Am I juicing? No. But at my age, I should. No, I'm just kidding. No, I hate to start because then you're like dependent on it forever. But I am definitely dieting and, you know, I am exercising more. It's just going to take a while to kick in. What could affect be a Bitcoin ETF on BTC price? Huge, huge. Many are predicting 100, 150, 200,000. I mean, it's going to be massive. If we get a spot Bitcoin ETF approved in the U.S., it will be absolutely massive. There will be billions upon billions that will be flowing in. These fund managers will be buying Bitcoin. It's going to be massive. Have I ever owned a Lambo? No. Growing up, I always wanted to, but no. I was looking at I was looking at it at the Urus, and I drove one. I was so close to buying it, but it's not very comfortable. It's an SUV, but it drives like, you know, like a race car SUV. So it's not very comfortable. Not really meant for families. George, I'm loading on Bitcoin. That's never a bad thing. Loading on Bitcoin is, in my opinion, never a bad thing. Never a bad thing. The number of whole coiners reached over 1 million. 1,014,000 something, all-time high, right? It's just a matter of time. You do the math. Number of whole coiners, number of people holding Bitcoin keeps going up, right? Number of addresses keeps going up. Miners, hash rate keeps going up. You know, exchange balances keeps going down, right? Simple math. Demand keeps going up, supply keeps going down. Prices go catch up, right? It's just a matter of when, not if. And there'll be catalysts like spot Bitcoin ETF, rate cuts that'll be coming in 2024, the halving event, institutional adoption. There'll be many, many catalysts that will drive us forward even more. My buddy recovered 1.22 Bitcoin on Ledger. Great. Great. So go long 200x on ETC? No, Keith. No. Opinion on a C6 vet? I mean, they still look good. They still look good, but I prefer the new Stingrays. They look so darn good. You know, from a far distance, they look like a, you know, exotic car. But even up close, they just, I mean, GM did a great job on the current Corvette. All right, guys, let's conclude overall today. Things got brought down by the Fed minutes, by Fed saying that there may be more rate hikes coming. No one wants to hear that. No one. Okay, so that spooked the market a little bit. But overall, you know what? Better days are coming. Stay strong, my friends. Okay, there's a lot of goodness coming for Bitcoin, for alts, for everything. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, all right? And we'll see what's happening tomorrow morning, all right? Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.